let me get this straight. All of you all believe that all of this that we are going through, all of this economic crashing, this quarantining, this pandemic, this complete world shutdown, all of this is going to be solved by a simple vaccine.
People are freaking out right now. Like they're tired of having their constitutional rights taken away with a mandatory stay-at-home orders. Cities are suing the California governor so their people can go back onto their beaches again. Idiots. Like, I'll stay at home for the rest of my life if they tell me to. Who knows how to make the best choices for my health and my life? Definitely not me. So I'm more than happy to put my blind trust in power-hungry politicians and definitely uncorrupt groups like the World Health Organization. I think they know what's best for me.
You all mean to tell me that a vaccine is going to get the world back on track?
I also find the more scared I am, the more unwilling I am to believe anything other than the original narrative that they told me, that they're still telling me, even when new, more accurate information emerges. Like when USC did research in LA County a few weeks ago and showed the amount of people infected with COVID-19 is 28 to 55 times more than we originally thought. Yep, because most of these people don't have symptoms, it suggests the infection is far less dangerous than we originally thought. And in contrast to the original guesstimation of a death rate of 4.5% in COVID cases, the LA County Health Department says the new research suggests the actual death rate in COVID cases is between 0.1 and 0.2%. That means the actual death rate in COVID-19 cases is 22.5 to 45 times less deadly than we were originally told. But this new scientific data is irrelevant to me because it's like I already made up my mind when I was the most frightened. And I'm going to keep believing what makes me the most frightened because it just feels more congruent in my being that way.
This is how they're going to get you. They're going to get you because you want your life back. You want your normal way of life back. That's how they're going to get everybody. That's how they're going to get us. We want our normal life back. We want to be able to go outside with nothing to worry about, walk down the street peacefully, and just have a great sunny afternoon.
I'm also really good at believing the COVID death count, as anyone who is diagnosed with COVID-19 and then dies, irregardless of what they die from, pre-existing condition or otherwise, their death is labeled a COVID death. Makes sense to me. Instead of letting the doctor who is treating the patient use their medical education to determine the cause of death, I think the mandate to label it a COVID death is more accurate. And it helps the COVID death count get higher than it is. And the higher it is, the more scared I am. And the more scared I am, the more obedient I am. Yes, I would like a mandatory vaccine. I'm scared enough that I think more things should be mandatory. Sometimes the best medicine is like the best sex, non-consensual. They work on the same premise.
And I got a plug on the vaccine if you need it. I'm letting them go for $20 a shot. Without the microchip, of course.
It's pretty well proven that being proactive and taking care of your health won't keep you healthy. Our only hope is in the pharmaceutical companies protecting us. They have a very good track record of never harming anyone, so I sleep pretty good at night. I'm also kind of asleep right now. And yes, I would like to be microchipped, as long as they tell me it's for my own good. And I apologize if I'm being a little too greedy here, but I'd like 2 microchips, please, just to keep me extra safe. Or maybe we should just do a baby step and use mandatory tracking apps on our phone first to keep us safe, and then go to the microchips. I think that's probably the way to go.
I mean, come and shop with your boy. You all are believing everything else that they're telling you.
I'll tell you who I trust more than God, Bill Gates. Because he's got more money than God. Money can't buy happiness, but it can definitely buy my trust. I accurately look at Bill Gates as a medical authority when it comes to vaccines and being undiseased, because he's a software engineer, not a doctor. He doesn't have a medical degree or any other degree for that matter, which means he's not part of the corrupt medical system because he doesn't have any medical training, which means he knows more about medicine than medical professionals. Like when my child's sick, I don't take him to a doctor. I take him to the Apple store to have a computer engineer take a look at him. I'm not an idiot.
No matter what they tell you all, the end of all this is for everybody to take a vaccine. It's for everyone to get a vaccination. That is the end of all of this.
In 1999, he was sued by the federal government and found guilty of breaking antitrust laws because he created a monopoly with Microsoft, presumably because he's so power hungry for control and domination. Then the very next year in 2000, he founded the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which now controls the World Health Organization, which is spearheading the charge to narrate to us what's going on with the coronavirus and the race to find a vaccine to cure it. He miraculously switched from being such a power-hungry Microsoft overlord breaking laws to the extent that the US government had to sue him, to just 1 year later with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation being such a shining example of altruism that he selflessly cared so much that he made it his mission to rid the world of disease with vaccines.
Now, do you all think they'll only want to give you one vaccine? Or do you think they'll want you to get vaccinated every year?
Oh, and get this. This one time, a friend of mine who's obviously a conspiracy theorist who needs to be medicated had this outrageous theory that after he was found guilty in 1999 of breaking antitrust laws, Bill Gates realized that Microsoft could no longer be the vehicle that he used to gain more power and control, so he founded the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation the next year to be the new vehicle for him to gain more power and control. And he even said Bill was smart enough to make the vehicle appear as though he's using it to help the world, even though he's just using it to take over more of the world, which would make the world help him take more of their power and control. So crazy. I was like, bro, he's not that smart. He's a billionaire, not a trillionaire.
So I guess a big discrepancy came up with the numbers of COVID deaths. The CDC has a certain number, and other sources have much higher numbers. On the CDC's website, on their data tracker, they state that 73,292 people have died from COVID-19 up until May the 7th, 2020. Also on their website, they have a section that has not been updated. And as of May 2nd, 45,632 people have died from COVID-19 in the United States. Why are there two totals on the CDC's website? I don't know. I'm under the assumption that once you update one thing, you update everything. So according to the CDC, from May 3rd to May 7th, 27,660 people died from COVID-19. That's 5,532 people a day that have died from COVID-19 from May the 3rd to May the 7th. Now, I know you all are like Blanche, so what do all these numbers mean? Just give me a second, I'm getting to it. According to the CDC, 45,043 people died from COVID-19 in 28 days. According to the CDC, 27,666 people died in the last 5 days. That's an average of 5,532 deaths per day. Now, I'm curious to see how these numbers will play out on May the 9th. Now, I hope you all are still with me. So I took the average of flu deaths over the past 9 years. The average flu death total was 37,461. And just last year was 34,157. These are all numbers according to the CDC. So let's say 37,000 is the average for deaths attributed to the flu. But according to this year's data on the flu, only 6,000 people have died from the flu. Only 6,000 people have died from the flu. That's the lowest total in the last decade. That's literally 31,000 deaths less than the average. What caused such a drastic drop in the flu numbers? According to the CDC, 71,451 people have died from pneumonia this year as of May the 2nd. And the death toll for COVID-19 as of May 7th is 73,297. So you must ask yourself, why is pneumonia not considered a pandemic? Why is pneumonia not considered a pandemic when the numbers are pretty close? And I will ask again, what happened to the flu? Oh, I remember. We don't have the flu anymore. It's gone. It went away.
Just talked about the flu surveillance system because we no longer have flu, because we no longer have flu, because we no longer have flu.
Thinking for yourself and making your own choices is dangerous during a time like this. Is that a blue pill?
Now, I wasn't really trying to confuse you with all these numbers, because we always hear that men lie and women lie, but numbers don't. So I agree, numbers don't lie, but the numbers do deceive. So back to my original point. So we all believe that all of this chaos, death, and destruction is all going to be fixed with the vaccine. A vaccine is going to save the world. How are they going to make this make sense? According to my notes, as I stated earlier in this video, 27,660 people have died from COVID in the past 5 days. That is an average of 5,532 people a day. In the past 8 weeks, in the height of this pandemic, 45,043 people have died from COVID-19. But that's over a 28-day period. And that average is 1,609 people per day dying from COVID-19. So I guess what I'm asking is, how could the numbers be going down when the numbers are going up? And one more thing. It's not hard to predict the future when you've planned it.
I often talk about how vaccines are a miracle. They've saved millions of lives. But exactly how do they work? Well, they connect to the human immune system, which is itself really phenomenal.
They all look like the wizard until you pull the curtain back.
If you were really great and powerful, you'd keep your promises.
Do you presume to criticize the great Oz? You ungrateful creatures think yourselves lucky that I'm giving you audience tomorrow instead of 20 years from now. Oh, the great Oz has spoken. Oh, pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. The great Oz has spoken.
I'll say it again. Numbers don't lie, but boy, do they deceive.
Who are you?
Oh, I am the great and powerful Wizard of Oz.
You are? I don't believe you.
Wait for it. Free Blanche. Get money.